16. The fourth bowl, men are scorched. Then the fourth angel poured out his bowl on the sun, and power was given to him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with great heat, and they blasphemed the name of God, who has power over these plagues, and they did not repent and give him glory.
This is the weirdest disease I've ever heard of. I didn't even know it existed. And to have all these crazy side effects, I'm like, who thinks of this?
Jennifer Linares from Virginia is battling a rare disease that comes with one of the most inconvenient side effects, being allergic to the sun. Her symptoms started in 2021.
I started to feel like I had a really hard workout, but I hadn't done anything. And so like my muscles would feel sore. I would wake up, I'm like, man, I'm really tired. I didn't think much of it. And then I got this weird rash on my hands.
She got treated for what doctors thought was eczema, but her symptoms worsened.
I was trying to get up off the floor. I was like, oh my gosh, why is this so hard? I was trying to raise my leg to step out of the shower, and it just wouldn't clear the tub. Like, okay, I'm getting progressively weaker. I remember telling my doctor, listen, like, this has got to be something else. I started to just completely fall apart. My rash had spread pretty much everywhere on my face and my hands and my back and my legs. I would get these blisters. My skin would be raw and my skin was peeling off in sheets. I had started to lose my hair.
She was diagnosed with dermatomyositis.
Within like 2 looks at me, they're like, oh crap, like we know exactly what this is. And then they were like, okay, this is actually a incurable autoimmune disease and you are so sick. Like you need like big time help.
Dermatomyositis is a rare disease that causes muscle weakness and painful rashes on skin, according to the Cleveland Clinic.
My disease is caused by my immune system thinking that my muscles and my skin are not my own. And so they attack those muscles and those skin cells and they're trying to kill them. That is what happens. Like my muscles atrophied and my skin started to reject itself.
These are my top 3 most excruciating experiences with dermatomyositis.
From there, she was hospitalized after a severe allergic reaction to medicine used to treat her.
My body began to swell. I developed really bad lymphedema. And my extremities had become so swollen, like you couldn't even really see my elbow anymore. You couldn't see my fingers really that well. And on top of that, the dermatomyositis itself makes your skin thin. So my skin integrity was weak, but I was also filling with fluid. And so my body would essentially, not to be graphic, but my skin would rip. One of the most excruciating feelings I have ever felt.
This led to Jennifer becoming immobile and temporarily paralyzed.
They would have to like move my limbs to like put clothes on me. I had to be spoon fed. I'm tall, I'm 5'8", but I usually weigh like 170. And at this time I weighed 315 pounds. Like the fluid had blown up my body.
She began several treatments and infusions, but kept getting worse.
I was getting sicker faster than those long-term medications would really kick in. And I remember being like, oh my God, how am I going to do anything? My blood pressure's high. I can't go to the bathroom on my own. I can't feed myself. I can hardly speak. I didn't recognize myself. I remember it being, I think, the most painful month of my life.
Treatments continued, but Jen's version of the disease was so extreme that it required various therapies and living in a rehabilitation center.
I ended up falling at one point, like out of my chair, and we couldn't figure out how to get me up. Like, because if you push on me too hard, I'm going to bleed. If you move me too quickly, I'm going to rip. The solution to that was a bed sheet, and they slowly were able to kind of roll me onto it, and then from each corner pick it up. I look back at it now and I'm able to laugh because I remember laying in it and being like, wow, this might be my low. I'm 300 pounds, I'm bald, I'm in a rehabilitation center, I can't even scratch my own face, I can't type on my own phone, I can't articulate what I need.
Over time, she said with patience, prayer, treatments, and hard work, things improved.
And I started being able to see tiny improvements. There was a day that they brought my food tray in and I was able to like meet my hands and take a bite. Those little wins started to add up. I mean, I was so thrilled. I could take like 10 steps at a time. I was so excited when I got my voice back. I was like, y'all are never going to hear me quiet ever again. You can't shut me up now. So I started to be able to slowly navigate and figure things out.
But as she was healing, she realized her problems returned every time she interacted with the sun.
The sun had landed on my chest from the window. And I remember being in bed and I'm like, oh my God, like I know something's happening. There's welts. And so the white parts of my skin would rise and then it would just shed off and it would be raw. They mentioned that when you develop dermatomyositis, the sun is the worst thing for you. 15-30 seconds will cause a sizzling burn. I remember I called my doctor. I said, hey, like I started feeling my skin hurt. I think I had too much sun exposure. What do I do? And he was like, you cannot be caught in the sun.
No, I'm not exaggerating. If I go outside for more than about 15 seconds, my skin will crisp, boil, and then burn right off.
She learned that her skin was now photosensitive and that she was essentially allergic to the sun. And any sun exposure caused her dermatomyositis symptoms to flare up.
A minute would strip my independence back to what it was a year and a half ago. And I mean, from there, that's when I realized that like, there is no playing. There's no wiggle room. There is no room for error. You need to avoid peak hours from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Don't go outside. You need to wear gloves. You need to have a hat on. You need to be wearing sunscreen everywhere. You need to get sunscreen chapstick. It's brutal. And especially during the summer, my parents went and bought the finest UV umbrellas that you can find. I had to learn the difference between UPF and UPV and all the different types of like sun stuff, detergent that has SPF in it, hairspray that has SPF in it, because if I don't, I burn and then I lose everything again. And I'm terrified of that.
After her grandmother passed, she moved into her home in a retirement community, which has helped her journey.
I was walking around with my umbrella one day and I saw someone else with one. And she's like, yeah, ever since my skin cancer scare, like I can't be caught outside. And I'm like, girl, me too. And so I have all of my friends are over the age of 65 and I love it. They're incredible. And they have so much wisdom and they're so understanding. And that was such a great way to get reintroduced into being social again. They would pop over and they're like, hey, let's go for a walk. The UV's a 0. They were adjusting their potlucks to be at the UV of 0. And they were just so considerate. I was embarrassed of the cane. I was embarrassed of my walker. I was embarrassed of my umbrella. But after going and doing my laps and meeting my neighbors, I'm like, they never even ask me why. They don't care. And I started to really embrace it when I started to realize that it's okay. And like, just because I have this going on, it doesn't make me any less of a person, or it doesn't really limit me as much as I'm allowing it to. And so I remember thinking, I can either spend the rest of my life terrified, wanting to protect myself because I'm so scared of things ending, or I can take little risks and I can live, and I want to live.
In living moments, I didn't think I would make it to.
Jennifer has learned all the ways to avoid sun at all costs.
I think people often get confused at the difference between like the sun and UV. And so the sun can be out and I can be out in it if the UV is at a 1 or a 0. So when the intensity of the sun is not strong, I'm fine. I started getting up at like 6 in the morning to go for walks. I would eat breakfast at like 4 and just kind of piddle around the house as the sun's getting less intense. I do everything through pickup, and so I head out around 9:30. I grab everything and come home.
I mean, getting the ability to drive again, that was like a 3-year process.
Her car is specially tinted.
Contacted the DMV and they were like, we've never encountered this before, but let's figure out how to work with it. And they talked with the police department and they were like, yeah, like that's fine. Why don't we just get documentation, have it in the record, and then she get her car tinted where the patrol cars get tinted.
Jennifer has had fun making her illness fit her personality.
All of my clothes need to be either like sun safe and or full coverage. I got confident in being able to feel pretty again and learn how to dress myself and also still be safe. I got these really cool sun hats. I started dressing up in like nice UV clothes, and it just became this whole new personality for me, this whole new vibe. I got myself a bedazzled cane. I bedazzled my IV pole that I have in the house. I want to be the most fashionable disabled person with dermatomyositis there is to exist. But I'm just going to try and be as me as possible.
It's very humbling to have your biggest opponent in life be the sun.
She started posting about her illness and sun allergy on TikTok, and some of the comments are unhinged.
I think I was laughing for 3 days straight. It was so fun. I had so much fun with those comments. I think a lot of that comes from learning to own it. I like seeing what people's first thought is. And vampire is so much better than sick girl. And so I would so much rather be asked if garlic stresses me out or a wooden stake is scary than the comments that are like, oh, I wouldn't want to live if I were you. I just learned to have a sense of humor about it.
Jennifer is now happily married, going to grad school to become a mental health counselor, and she's continuing to come to terms with the challenges she will face.
To future Jennifer.
Everything changing was so hard. Having to learn how to love myself through the changes. My whole worth used to be based off my weight or my body or how I looked. And so having all that stripped from me and then having to relearn how to like love myself and how to find what I bring value to and find how to like still have purpose. There's so much value in just being alive and just existing. It's just been this like crazy few years, but I honestly think everything happens for a purpose.
1 Corinthians 3. Do you not know that you are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwells in you? If anyone defiles the temple of God, God will destroy him. For the temple of God is holy, which temple you are.